Hello, is everyone there? I
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming. Um, Today, I want to welcome you to our uh, webinar series we have for website um, improving your substitute teacher website. We have a lot of ideas and thoughts that we've conjured up over the last 25 years. We've kind of put together that we feel like will help you tremendously. I do want to make sure that everyone can see the screen. Is that, excuse me. Jeff, are you able to see that screen? Just want to make sure.
Yes, Sam, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I hear you just great.
Okay, yeah, so you're good to go. Hello, everyone. Welcome, everyone. My name is Jeff Smith. We have Sam Brand will be doing the presentation today. And so the chat features you can see works. And so we want to make sure that you jump on that, and we want to go back and forth. And if you do ask a question, if you don't mind, as you can see, you can say to all panelists or all panelists and attendees. And so if you do attendees, then you can say that we all can get your comments, especially when Sam asks questions, so we can hear that and see that, and everybody can see that, and then we can add those to the notes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everyone, for coming today, for taking time out of your day. I know it is really crazy time right now in the industry as everyone is gearing up or trying to gear up for the start of school. We hope that what you learned today will be very beneficial to you in your district and specifically to your substitute teacher management team and division department, that as you look to help improve what you guys are doing, we hope we can add to that. We hope that what we're sharing with you will give you some new insights and abilities to do a much better job at recruiting and retaining substitutes. So again, today it's simple suggestions for your district's substitute teacher webpage. So we're going to talk about a few things that I just think are kind of important for us to understand. I'm not going to go over each one of these. I will pick out about 3 of them that we'll talk about a little more in detail. And then, of course, if any of you have any questions, like Jeff said, if you have any questions, please send a chat message to us, and then we'll make sure that we address those as we move forward. So websites are a really important part of the world today, as everyone knows. It's something that is a crucial part of business. It's a crucial part of the school districts because it's an easy way for districts to share information with the public, with teachers, with students, with parents, community on many different topics, right? There's so many things that a district does, so there's lots of reasons to have a good website working and functioning properly. These are just 14 different things that can be considered. And again, I'm going to pick out 3 of them. You can do some research on your own afterwards, each of these. This webinar will also be posted on Study's website at study.org/webinars, that you can access this again afterwards to do some more research and understanding. But for today, we're going to talk about a few of these things. And we're also going to talk about some research that we've done recently to kind of give us an idea of how effective or efficient websites are for substitute departments and what they're doing for you or what they're not doing for you. So one of the things that we talk about is the narrative of a website. Your website is a place for the district to tell its story that most people don't quite think about that. Like a lot of what I'm talking about is normally talked about within like private sector with, a company like Microsoft or Apple, where you're telling that Apple story. But districts need to do the same thing. They need to make sure that the public understands what their story is, what they're trying to accomplish, what their goals are. these things are really important, and they will set you apart from neighboring districts, especially when you're appealing to people to become a substitute teacher for you. That narrative does matter when a substitute teacher or job applicant goes to your website. It's really important for them to kind of understand the purpose behind what's the motivation of the district, and see that it's a place that they want to be. The next one is credibility. 52% of web users believe that online information is credible, right? And so it's really important that what you have on there is credible. And we'll kind of go into this again. We'll talk a little more about websites or pages for substitutes. That information becomes crucial in terms of how a person or a job applicant feels like they want to apply for a job. Giving the information that they need, helping them understand what's important, answering their questions as a substitute. Those are things that are really important that need to be on there. And so make sure that information is accurate all the time is vitally important. Accessibility, website accessibility is really important as well. Your website, your tools, technologies that are used, they need to be usable by people with disabilities, right? It's a really important part of it, because there's so many different applicants that can do these jobs, that it's important that they have access and know how they can get information they need to be able to apply for these positions. As well, this also kind of goes into the functionality of the website, that the website functionality needs to be able to be perceived easily, to be understood. They need to be able to navigate it, and they need to interact with it so they can learn about your district. And these tools need to be, they need to not have a difficult time getting into where they find out about substitute teacher job. The most important thing about a website, however, in my mind, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but in my mind, I feel like you need to convert people to apply for a position, right? And so there's lots of different departments within a school district and that have access to the web page, and their own in particular web page, and they too need to be worried about converting, right? Like need to understand how many people are coming to your website, what that experience is that they're having when they're on the website, and then applying for a position. And those are numbers that can be calculated. One of the things you want to make sure is you understand how many visitors are coming to your site, and then how many people you're converting over to apply for a position. So I guess I have one quick question. What is, where's my chat function? Here it is. What is do you know what your conversion rate is for your sub page? I just wonder if you know, as a sub manager, if you know what the conversions are, if you know how many people are coming to your page, and if you know how many of those people, when they come to your page, they actually go through and actually apply for a job. A conversion rate for a sub page, normally it is about, you want to get well, actually we talk about it here. I'll move it here. So we'll go into specifically what an average conversion rate is. Then what you're wanting to do is just kind of a multi-step process that you're doing when it comes to web conversions. One is you're being aware, right? The job applicant is aware of the position somehow, and so that's where that's where everyone kind of goes to your website, right? That's the highest one. You get the most traffic going to, abc.gov, right, for your school district. So you get all the traffic there, but then it has to start narrowing down. And step 2 is interest. What on that page, what interest are they getting? Are they seeing to have them go to the next stage, which is have a desire to go down and apply for a job, which is number 4. And so how are they learning, or how are they having that experience on your web page? And a lot of times, my guess is a lot of people will not necessarily go directly to your sub teacher page. They'll go to your home page, right? They'll go to the school district's web page, the main page, and then they'll try and find it at that point. So what is that conversion? What is that process like for a substitute? If you haven't done that yourself as a manager, I would strongly recommend, and we're going to show some results of what's happened and how that process is by people applying for positions with some school districts around the country. But that process is a really important process for you to understand as a sub manager. If you're having issues with fill rates and other, your sub pools, so forth, it's going to be an important thing for you to understand that process. In terms of step one, you'll have the most traffic. The numbers will be the highest there. But step four, that's where you're going to get into the smaller, percentages of those who apply for position. You may get 1,000 visitors, but at the very end, you only get 22 that kind of apply for a job, right? This is for like retail kind of thing, but it's very much kind of similar across the board. So if 1,000 people entering, you get 22 people buying. That's not a lot, but that's kind of averages, right? You're looking at about 2% or so. So the average around the nation is about 2.3% conversion rate. Some of the top companies convert, 5 to 10%. And that's really important, especially if you have a really targeted message and it's really easy for them to get from point A to point B, right? Like for them to be able to apply for a position and they know how to do that process easily because you've arranged it that way on the website, that's going to be a vital part to increase the conversion rates for your district. So some examples, I'm actually not going to go to these pages, but some examples I do this really well. Boston Public Schools is one that you can look at. Metro Nashville Public Schools is another one that has a really good process they have. Los Angeles Unified is another one that's really good. And Fulton County, the last one, and this would be one where we'll talk about this in a little while, but the next section that we talk about, we're going to go over a process survey we did, and we had our substitutes do a website evaluation. These substitutes are part of our Steady's Facebook page, and we asked them some questions. We wanted to get some people to respond back to us and do some quick survey, like some quick research on some websites. The number one website was Fulton County. They had the best rating of all of them by a rather large margin. Anyway, so what happened is, I'm going to go through these questions. We wanted to know what the experience was like. And so of those who did the survey, these are the demographics of that survey. It's kind of typical for substitute teachers. You probably notice, if you look at your demographics within your district, these are probably similar to what you have. We asked these five questions, right? We just really want to know if it was simple to find, was it easy to apply, was the words and images, that the content that was on the page that motivates you to apply for the job. After you kind of went through that process with that school district, would you recommend it to friends and family to apply for a position? And then how was the overall positive experience of that website, applying for that position? So these are some of the results we got. The first question was, how simple was it to find their subject teaching department / division page? And the number one page was Fulton County. I won't share the others, but I'll just share Fulton County. They got a 4.875 out of 5 rating. So it's 1 out of 5. They got 4.875 when the question was, how simple was it to find the page? All the others 5 districts got 3.875 or less, right? So it's really important to kind of understand how this actually matters when it comes to, you'll see these results, they're very indicative of the overall experience. Fulton County, by the end, has the best experience, And the number one district, or the worst district had like the worst. They also had the worst. Like all the experience was really hard. It was difficult to find. Here's another question: how easy was it to apply to become a substitute teacher? Right, Fulton County again is number one. They had the best experience and easy to apply, but the others didn't. And so it was just very much a trend that the overall website experience was the same for all these survey substitutes that we had doing the survey. And Fulton County was number one across the board. Every single question, they were number one. And the others kind of fluctuated here and there, but Fulton County was definitely the best one because they've done a really good job at conveying the right information to job applicants. So then again, would you recommend that Fulton County again was number one? Yes, they would. But you see, number two, 3.75. There's a whole full point difference between the two of them. So there's really some important parts of what they do that really helps them. Again, the overall positive experience for the website, Fulton County again was number one, and the next one down was less than a point, right? 3.625. So these are really important things to consider what these experiences are like for people looking for a job with you. The worst rated website, which again, I'm not going to share with you who it was, but you can see the responses. Number one is they had it was not easy. Number five was really easy. So this this school, the district that ranked last, you see they had, they were always less than 3, and they had a really difficult time, people did on average, trying to get the information that we asked them to look for. And so that overall experience is really, really important for them, for your job applicants. The number one rated website, this is Fulton County as well. Like they were historically number one on every single question that we had. So we knew there was some what the experience was like was about.
Sam, can I interrupt for a minute?
I want to recommend to you our
Hold on, Sam. I'm sorry.
5 things to make it really simple for. So Jeff, can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I don't know if it was me or you, but we were breaking up for a minute. So I just wanted to pause a minute and make sure. So go ahead. Sorry.
Can't hear you, Jeff, still.
Sam, can you hear me okay?
You're still breaking up. If you want to come into my office, Jeff, please come in here, and then we can chat. Okay. So the website to-dos are just some 5 basic things that I would say that you need to kind of pay attention to. I mean, they're just the easy things to do. There's a lot you can do to improve your website. I've looked at hundreds of school district websites, and I would say probably a fair majority of them would have a really good. It would be really good for them to relook at their website process for substitute teachers. So the first one is just make it simple to find. Just truly try and make it simple to find. If you can't find your substitute teacher page, then try to figure out how to make it easier to get job applicants to it. Then make the process easy to apply for. This is an important one. There are some pages that we did the survey with that they were so cumbersome for the job applicant before they could even kind of apply for the job. Districts have them doing so many things, and it was just kind of overwhelming for the job applicant. So make it easy to apply, as easy as possible, right? As easy as you can, try and make it easy. And then the other one is motivate job applicants to apply for the job. And there's things you can do for that. I would say using video content to help with that. I would say having, explaining what the job is and what the experience is going to be like, giving the description of that job, giving the pay scale for that job, talking about benefits that they'll be getting by being a substitute with the district, talking about the experience other substitutes are having. They could share some testimonials on the page, talking about how great it is to work for the John Doe School District, right? Those are really good things to help with motivating people to apply for your job. The other one is you want to make it so people are willing and able to recommend being a substitute with your district. If they have a hard time even applying for the job, I would guess a majority of the time you're not getting recommendations from people either. And that's an important thing. Job recommendations are vitally important. And so that experience they go through on your website will reflect on how people are likely to recommend it. And then of course the overall experience that they have, right? What from start to end, what is like as a manager, you need to go through and just see what that experience is like. In fact, I can share these questions with you, and you'll have them. You could send the same survey out to your staff, to friends, family, and have them do it and have them rate your site. Just be open to criticism, right, or to improvements. But that'll actually help some of the issues that some districts are having with their fill rates and subpools. So let me get back here. So some of the things to do, the other thing to do is to provide training for your substitutes. I was talking to a district this morning actually, and they don't provide training for their substitutes before they get hired, or even after they get hired. They don't provide training for them to be substitute teachers. They just do an orientation. And that's typical in lots of places. But one of the things they told me was they have a lot of subs who do it once and don't go back. They get frustrated because they don't know quite what to do. So outside of like updating your site, I would say make sure you're providing training. So again, when people do go to your site, when they have that experience and it's a good experience on the website, and then if you stick them in the classroom without any training, you're going to probably lose them, and your sub pool will then suffer. So the thing to keep your sub pool going and growing is providing training to them that allows them to have the skills, the know-how to be able to manage those classes that they're in whenever you ask them to. The next thing is if you look at Fulton County is one of our clients, and you'll see they have similar website or similar wording on their website as this. In fact, I don't know if it's exact. And so adding this website that really will help with your fill rates as well is when you require training prior to them applying for a position. So when you get them, actually do apply for the position, have the resume, have all the fingerprints and all the other things you ask for them. And they include with that a sub-diploma from STEDI. They will have had 8 hours of training on being a substitute teacher in the classroom. And the majority of that training is classroom management. But that gives you the confidence as a sub-manager, as the hiring manager, that these individuals, one, they could finish an 8-hour training. And that shows character, if nothing else. It shows character that they're willing to put in that effort before. But two, they're capable of being in the classroom as soon as you hire them. As soon as you onboard them, you can stick them in a classroom and be confident, 100% confident that they're capable of doing the job. It's important for them. The dictation is, so when they do apply, they know exactly what's expected, and they can with me. I just want to see. Oops, sorry about that. Can you hear this?
We don't fly airplanes without a co-pilot, and we
Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I just want to make sure before I go crazy on it. So I'm gonna play that again. I'll let you guys watch this. This is a recruiting substitute teacher video that you can, if you're a client of ours, or you're a client of studies, we'll give our branding on it. It's just a motivational video for people, for job applicants to want to apply to be a substitute teacher. So here we go.
We don't fly airplanes without a co-pilot, and we don't run schools without a backup teacher as well. That's why you are needed as a substitute teacher in our classrooms. Times are changing, expectations are increasing, kids are smarter, and we need more teaching and less babysitting today than we did in the past. Substitute teachers need to be better prepared and ready to teach, just like a qualified co-pilot. Even if you don't have a teaching degree, you can be ready to teach at a moment's notice, and we'll show you how. Make a difference in a student's life and enjoy a flexible schedule by becoming a substitute teacher today.
So again, that's just motivational for people. Substitutes that are currently working in your district is really helpful for people who don't quite know what to expect and maybe a little concerned about doing it. Things like that can be really helpful to encourage them and make them feel comfortable in moving forward and applying for a position. Today, I really hope this information has been very helpful to you. There is a lot more that we can cover as a company. We help with kind of revamping your website, looking at your website and how it should be and how it should be laid out. That's something that as a service we offer, and you can contact me or Kelly, and we'd be happy to talk to you about that at any time. So again, I want to thank you for coming, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. I just realized I didn't put my email or contact information in this, but I'll actually write it out here in the chat really quick. Kelly, if you want to write your information out there too, that'd be great. I apologize. And then, so there's my contact info. If you want to reach out to me, please do. Be happy to answer any questions you may have. And again, thank you for attending today. We hope to talk to you soon.
Sam, we didn't get your contact info. Did you send it to all panelists and attendees?
Oh, I just sent it. No, I just sent it to Jeff privately. That doesn't help anyone, does it? Sorry,
I don't want
about
everyone calling just me.
that. Oh, no, that's fine too. There we go. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We really appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. Nancy, if you just reach out to me, we can get you the video. So or to Kelly, whoever you've been working with, just reach out to us and we'll help you. We'll help you get that. What we'll do is those videos we try and put some coding on as much as possible. We try and make it so we have a unique URL if possible. So just talk to us. We're happy to help you. So, all right, everyone. Thank you very much.